But Johnny, my man,
All right, man. Peace
you're a
out.
thug's life, my guy. You are a thug's life. That's what I'm
Magneto,
saying
man.
here.
Agent Smith was just chasing me down the street with a hypodermic needle. I gotta wear this to hide from him.
Oh well, John, I'm lucky to get to meet you. I've watched you guys on Watchers Talk, but you've never been on my show yet, so we got to find out how to do that.
Yeah. Well, first time's a charm, you know. It's always good.
So
You'll love
John,
it, Kathy. You will love it. Invite
oh,
John
I'm
to
sure
your channel
it's a
and
good time.
Yeah.
oh my God, you will bring him back again and again and again. He's a great guy.
Of course. Okay, so John, did you realize that today's Earth Day?
Yes, I was aware of it yesterday when I got the invite to come on the show.
Okay.
Yeah. Good thing.
And
Cool.
so have you I'd love to know what brilliance, what genius you're going to share with us about Earth Day.
That's why I come on here. I'm more interested in what I want to say and interested in what I'm going to say. You know?
Well, first we got to get you on camera. You're almost off camera. Hey, John.
Yeah.
You're almost off camera. There you go.
All right.
Oh my God, that's much better.
I want to steer everybody away, you know.
Oh, that's okay.
Watch
you look like you've been to the beach. You look like you've been to the beach with your fisherman's hat kind of thing and your aviator goggles.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to make you full screen. So are you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. How's it going? You want me to talk?
Yes, please. No, you could just stand there and look cool.
Doing my Hunter Thompson.
Yeah.
Rocker's got it right. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. That's what he's got going on there.
Like Leanne said, it's time for a road trip. You know.
Let me quickly set it up here, guys, and then we'll send John off packing from there. Now, I don't know if you guys realize, but scientists have discovered a massive body of water below the mantle of the Earth, and I've been coming across articles and such, which I've been sending to John. And recently, they discovered off the coast of Oregon, I think it is, or Washington, something like that. Yeah. They discovered a leak in the ocean, on the bottom of the ocean, to where it's leaking into our ocean. And they collected water from there. And they discovered that it's fresh water that's coming up, and the salinity of this water is very, very, very low. So what that means is that there's a massive leak, a hole in the ocean, from which the pressure from beneath the mantle is pushing this water up ever so steadily. Now, if there is one hole in the ocean, then that means that there are going to be others as well. And then John now recently wrote a book on this, and then he tied it together as to the pyramids and the great floods, and and Noah's story and all that kind of stuff. So John, maybe since we put the segue in this, maybe you want to lead us into that and talk about your new research, brother.
All right, man. Thanks for the cue in there. I was getting a little drifty going. We're going to talk about the Earth. Well, this is about the Earth. You know, it's about the Earth.
This is about the Earth. Yeah, this is breaking story that's happening, right? This is a breaking story, and what a day to talk about it. It's on Earth Day, because not many people know this is happening. So off you go, my brother.
Yeah, it's a new book. You know, I've been studying this for multiple lifetimes. This lifetime, I'm back into it again, and it's my third book on the pyramids, and 2 on the pyramids, 1 on the moon. and the moon drives the pyramids also. But at this juncture, this is a new look at what the pyramids were built for all over the globe, and they're basically sitting over hydrothermal vents that tie into an underground ocean. In 1997, scientists discovered a fresh water supply in between the upper and lower mantle, and it's 2 to 3 times the volume of water that's actually on the surface of the planet right now. So with that in mind, it's like, okay, and then you start taking into consideration the ancient texts, the Anunnaki story, Gilgamesh, the Noah story. India, the Hindus have one. It's just about every ancient society has a flood epic. The Mayan, there's a lot of there's a flood, detailed information of a global flood, and what I'm theorizing that it's just like everything on the planet. There's a larger cycle, and one of the largest cycle is a flood cycle, global flood cycle, and the geological scars around the planet, the evidence, the smoking gun. We were brought up to believe that the Colorado River out here in the United States carved the Grand Canyon. It's absolute rubbish. When you get geologists out in the field, the only thing that makes any sense is multiple global floods, and this is what we're up against. So this is your extinction. This is a cycle of extinction on the planet and rebirth, and what it is the over time it just the oceans basically you go into your interglacial period, right, like we are right now. We're at the end of it. We started it like 13,000 years ago at the glacial maximum, and the ice obviously melts because it's warmer, and then we all this water goes into the ocean now. Scientists have said that recently, in the last 20 or 30 years, they've said there's got to be a lot more. There should be a lot higher. The ocean should be a lot higher than they are with the trillions of tons of water that is ice that is melted and flown into the ocean. And what it is that the floor of the ocean isn't like your pool in the backyard with a blue vinyl liner that's waterproof. What it is the ocean's good for a certain amount of psi on it, and 6,000, 5,000 psi, whatever it is, on the floor of the ocean. And if it goes any higher, basically it seeps down into the upper mantle and into this place we call the transition zone, where this large volume of water exists, and it's in a different state, but nevertheless, once it's released, it converts and turns back into water. So what I've discovered is that a lot of these, we'll stick with Giza. Giza's like the master engineering of the pyramids on the planet. But anyways, there are caverns underneath the Great Pyramid of Giza, the GP 1, 2, and 3, and there's a large cavern under there, and there's also some detailed information in the emerald tablets. And that also states that there's a tunnel that goes down over a mile below the surface of the Giza Plateau. So there's a lot of evidence out there that supports what I'm talking about here. And basically, what I'm talking about is a different environmental condition on Earth, which I dubbed the water world. Right now we're in the dry world, and then there's two worlds. In the dry world, or the wet world, and there's a lot of what do you call it, steles and carvings and things of that nature. Go way back, all sorts of different cultures that back this up also. So, anyways, in the book, I surmised that I put out there that it's a cycle, and what it is this technology is left over by the gods harnessed or controlled the discharge of this water when you do hit that discharge point. Basically, we're going to hit a water maximum on the planet, and that's when the enough ice melts, it's going to overpressurize these systems that are at the in the mantle floor of the ocean, and you're going to have you're going to hit a saturation point, and this stuff's going to explode just like magma does going through a volcano. It's the same effect, except it's not going to be magma; it's going to be water. And there's another interesting thing that under all the largest pyramids on the planet, there is oceans, literally oceans of fresh water. Now these oceans are 30 miles down, right down below the surface, and what do you call it? They're massive, and these pyramids are built right over them. Now it's this again. It's like it's just the odds are off the charts. That okay, this is what we're going to build these pyramids over these oceans. These underground freshwater oceans. Anyhow, those oceans will get pressurized when this water gets released from the transition zone. So it comes up into the freshwater oceans under the pyramids, and it also comes up in different parts of the ocean, like Omar was talking about earlier. And basically, what we're talking about Noah's flood here. For the most part, this is a major release of energy, and we're talking about hot water, smoking, superheated steam type of temperatures of beyond biblical proportions. All right, and what we're talking about is a major disruption in the atmosphere. And this is, I believe, the more and more I study this. I mean, I put out a book, but it never stops. And it's like, I'm still waiting for my team of scientists to show up at the door from MIT, and we can go over this. So they said they'd be here soon. So, anyways, I guess they got other things they got to finish up with. But anyways, long story short, the fact of the matter is, when this thing does discharge, it completely changes the environment. And what it does is that you go back to Noah's story, it's 40 days, 40 nights of rain. Well, that's a discharge, the superheated discharge coming up through the ocean, boiling the seas. And what's going to do is going to go right up into the atmosphere, and it's going to blanket the whole planet with the thick clouds, 20, 30, 50 miles thick, and it's going to rain. All right. And on top of rain, the water level is going to rise, so it's like, I tell a lot of people, if you want to try to ride this thing out, you get used to living on a boat, big boat, biggest boat you can get, short of building an ark. Now, anyways, all serious aside, this is what ushers in the ice age. Everybody's like, well, what caused the ice age? What caused the ice age? Well, this will definitely cause an ice age, and it'll knock you right back out. And it flies in the face of all the scientific models of the interglacial period, and how long the ice ages last and everything like that. But it could be that we're you're looking at something that'll knock us into an ice age every 13,000 years, and it takes about it could take 100,000 years to thaw out. But if you look at the Anunnaki wheel, it's like a Yuga wheel. You got the Anunnaki guy. He's got like three guys, three gnomes on the left, and he's sitting on the throne. And he's got another guy up at top, Enlil and Enki, rather. Just bear with me. The brain will kick in sooner or later. So I think, Enlil's sitting on the throne, and Enki's got a rope turning the Yuga wheel. And I managed to cut that Yuga wheel down to like 44,000 years. So I mean, there's the four. You got the Yuga wheel. The Yuga wheel in India that they surmise is a lot older than that, but. The fact of the matter is, I mean, we're looking at ice samples that go back a million years or whatever, and we could be stuck. We could literally be stuck in a, 6,000 to 12,000, 13,000 year ice age cycle, and we don't know about it because by the time we regain our sophistication, our technology, and everything like that to measure the composite of gases, carbon dating and this, that, and the other thing, that ice is already gone. It's already melted. So for the most part, we're in it's like Groundhog Day, with Bill Murray there. It's like every day's you're just repeating yourself, but it's in a larger, instead of days, it's not in days, it's in, big chunks like 6,000, 12,000 years. And, it was a wild book to write. Like I was petrified. Usually I don't scare myself. Well, my brain scares myself a lot, but usually I'm not this petrified about the outcome of the evidence that this book is written on. But for the most part, it's it's well documented. It's well researched. It's got a lot of photos in there, so it kind of it really tightens up with diagrams and a lot of data that pulls all this together. And the other smoking gun is I must have guns on my mind. I live in America. That's got to be it. It's time to go for a trip somewhere else. But anyways, the other evidence is that in the book I write down exactly what every part of the pyramid does on GP1, the Great Pyramid of Giza, Cheops. I write down exactly what everything is doing in that pyramid based on a hydrothermal vent discharging into the bottom of the pyramid. Now, every pyramid out there in the Giza Plateau and pyramid around the world has got a chamber on the bottom of it. It's got a dank, dusty place that just can't be cleaned because it just never ends. They try to clean out the pit on GP1 and the subterranean chamber, they call it. They got a bunch of names for it, but that's one of them. It just went on and on and on. It went down 37 feet, and there was no end in sight. So, I mean, it's a lot of work excavating in a tight little spot because there's no place to put this stuff. So they did manage to get out 37 feet, and it's just rubble. So what you have is this massive discharge of water pressure that might be in the region of maybe 50,000 psi, or spiked to 100,000 psi, and then dropped to like 20 psi. I mean, different levels of pressure that this thing is exposed to, and that's why you got to build a 6 million a ton pyramid to withstand this massive discharge of water pressure. Now, what these geniuses, these absolute brains that built these pyramids, what they wanted to do was regulate the discharge of this superheated water getting into the atmosphere and crashing us back into an ice age. So what they do with these hydrothermal vents that discharge water when this cycle starts, this Noah cycle, I call it, they built the pyramids over it and stop it from going into the atmosphere. Now, they don't stop it from they stop it from going vertically straight up into the atmosphere, and they kind of cut it and do a right angle turn to it and get it going straight out. All the discharges on GP1, 2, and 3 are lined up with the Nile. The Nile is on the east of the pyramids, and then once it gets past the Giza Plateau, it takes a hard left, and then it goes all the way across all 3 pyramids and takes a hard right, going north to I believe it's the Red Sea. I was in the Red Sea a few times, so I think that's what it is. Not the Med, it's the Red Sea. So, anyways, but anyway, it's directed back into the Nile. So these doors that are on, they call them the main entrances, the doors there, and they're all swinging check valves. They're all giant, 10-ton stone check valves that you can push open, and they only open from pressure from the inside, and they're set up to open up and blow the blocks off there in front of it and discharge straight out. Now, there's evidence that there was aqueducts and channels that lined up in front of GP 1, 2, and 3, so they would catch this water and send it towards the Nile. They just found another one. I think they theorize it's Cleopatra's tomb. It's not, but they can theorize that all they want. But that's also a tunnel that's underwater, and it's been partially investigated, and that goes right up to the Nile. So I mean, another, the proverbial smoking gun, right? So that's also, there that's used to manage this water and keep it out of the atmosphere as much as they can. And what's the point? Like, why even bother, right? Because the point is, if you let this discharge just go straight up into the atmosphere of these underwater oceans, literally, that go under like 4 countries: Sudan, Egypt, and the 2 other ones there. And it's a massive oceans, hundreds of billions of gallons of water. Not even mentioning the water that's coming up from the transition zone in the below the mantle, the upper mantle. So, anyways, so basically, you want to keep this stuff from going into the atmosphere and driving you into a very long ice age, like turning the whole planet into one big giant ice ball. Okay, so this is in destroying, killing life from one end of the planet to the other. So it's a life-saving technology. It's part of the planet, and it's actually a beautiful design. It's like, imagine if you had a car that washed itself. Wouldn't that be wonderful? You don't have to drive down the store. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And and that's it. So it's got a self-cleaning system, and but there's some technology left over to manage the loss of life, and that's what we're talking about. We're talking about a system that was put in place to limit the catastrophic damage, the collateral damage, if you will, when this thing goes off. And it will go off. It does go off.
Well, that's why I came on. I want to know how much time we got.
Well, tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
How did you figure that out? No, seriously. I mean, I can understand that you might be able to find historical references because every civilization has a flood story.
Right.
But how do you know when it's going to happen this time around? And how do you gauge that? Because you can't really. I mean, how did you find out how much water is in the underground ocean?
Well, the scientists use these waves. That's how they discovered the water.
Like
was there.
Sonar kind of thing.
No, they actually they have sensors on the planet, and they ping one side of the planet, and it comes out the other. They judge the speed of the wave and the frequency, and this is what they've come to figure out. And I mean, there's been a lot of loose theories that the water is going down below the surface of the ocean. It's been a big theory, but this one is real data coming back with scientific instruments saying, there is a huge ocean down there in between the mantles, upper and lower mantles. So I guess so that's the gist of it, really. I mean, it's kind of how's it going to happen? I don't know. When's it going to happen? I mean, I still play with that. I think it's locked in the text, like the ancient text. They'll and the other thing is prophecy. Like if you look at the prophecy, and people like Nostradamus, Isaac Newton. I mean, Isaac Newton's got us down to 2060 when the world ends, right? He doesn't know what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, but he extrapolated a lot of the math out of the Bible, and that's that he came up with 2060.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's like he's my hero. But I don't think I'm going to be around in 2060. I mean, man, I have to start eating better, stop smoking. I don't know. I'm not smoking. I'm only kidding. But anyways, well, I'll just incarnate back. There she is. Hey, Leanne, how you
I'm trying
doing?
to get her to
Hold on, Hunter. How you doing?
Tough, man, hanging tough, you know. But what was the other question? I kind of stepped
Well,
on.
yeah, I think Leanne had another question. I mean, I'm basically still, I've watched a couple of your interviews, but I haven't read your book, so I'm still learning. So that's why I brought Leanne on, because I think she may have some really good questions.
Yeah, she's got something. Yeah, she does. She's
So I'm going to give you the calm here, Leanne.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
So, Johnny, baby.
Hey, what's going on out there in New York?
In New York land.
Yeah.
Well, it was raining and now it's stopped and now the sun is out. It's just, weather's doing its weather or somebody else's weather thing or something. Yeah. So, but like, how does the moon, where does the moon play into all this?
The moon's it's the heartbeat of the planet, gravitationally speaking. And the pyramids, for what it's worth, in my first book, I was able to, actually, Isaac Newton and I both believed there was a gravitational theory locked in the pyramids. And, I basically put that pyramid, that gravity, moon gravity pyramid connection together in that book. And actually all three books has a little bit of it in there. But so in essence, the pyramids are large lenses, gravitational lenses. Okay. And every time we run through it, every time we rotate through the moon, every 24 hours, we zip right through it. So we get it's a big pulse. And unbeknownst to everybody on the planet, except for the few people that read my book, the 3 people that read my book, there is a connection with every large pyramid, 180 degrees opposed to, opposite the pyramid on the same latitude is a volcano. So you have, we'll look at the 3 big pyramid sites on the planet. We got the Giza Plateau pyramids. They're aligned with the Hawaiian hotspot, right? Now, those are the pyramids coming right up out of the Sudan. They're, Abusir, Saqqara, Giza, and latitude-wise, they're not in the same latitude. They're, the pyramids are, for the most part, the gravitational connection between these two are also, in a pull between the core of the Earth. So you always have a lower latitude on some alignments based on where they're located on the planet. But longitudinally, we're talking 1 or 2 degrees off. Now, every one of these alignments between the pyramids and the volcano, longitudinally, which is the up and down thing, you're talking like right on it, dead nuts, like 180 degrees perfect, or 1 or 2 degrees this, that, to the left and to the right, or east or west. No, and then latitude-wise, I think the closest one latitude-wise is the Shen Pyramids in Xi'an, China, and the Bermuda, the ancient, whatever you call it, the super caldera that makes, there's 2 super calderas that make up the Bermuda Island. And they're like almost on the same latitude. And again, longitudinally and latitudinally, they were 180 degrees opposed to each other. Like just, perfect. You can stick an arrow through it, right? So that's how the moon connects with these things. The moon's like I see an arrow here. You see an arrow going through? That's the arrow going straight through this globe. I took my bow and arrow outside and I shot the arrow through the globe while I was sitting on my son's head. Anyways, doing a William Tell.
Right there, ladies and gentlemen, that is super caldera trust right there.
Yeah. So anyways, That's 180 degrees opposed to Giza and the Hawaiian hotspot. Now, this gravitational theory that I was working on, it's more than just pyramids lining up with volcanoes. You have well, I'll just do one more. You have the Pyramid of the Sun located down in Mexico. That aligns with Mount Sigiriya in Sri Lanka. And then you have continents lining up with continents. So it's not just pyramids and volcanoes. It's large masses line up with large masses. And but the problem I had, and I've hired like very smart, until all this book smart, but they won't open up their minds and let this new information in, because it flies in the face of like 100 years of theory. And that would be, getting rid of Pangea. Pangea's got to go. It's got to go. It's dumb. It's just got to go. It's stopping our ability to control and understand gravity on the planet, And so anyways, the pulse of the planet is the moon, spinning through that gravitational field. And when we spin through the gravitational field of the moon, we get that, it's a little torque between Earth. We got a little gravitational torque between Earth's gravity and the moon's gravity. And what that does is it flex all the tectonic plates 24/7, 365. So it stops a lot of earthquakes from occurring. Tectonic plate slips, which basically turn into, tsunamis and tidal waves and all sorts of disastrous, energies. So the exchange between the Earth and the Moon are a nice thing. Plus, it cleans the place. The odor down here on the planet, if you didn't have the moon, would be unbearable. Be like, fly me to the moon. You know what I mean? You'd want to live on the moon. So the ocean is like it's like it's like a jacuzzi. It keeps everything moving. All the water's a flush, a waterfall. It just keeps everything moving and grooving. It's a life force. It also affects every living thing on the planet. The endocrine system of women also. So it drives everything. So yeah. So I think that's basically that in a nutshell. That's kind of what the effect is with the moon on the pyramids. But there's it's not just the one thing. Like if you say 6 million tons, you're going to have some ramifications. Just you're going to have an effect. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So you're lowering the gravitational field out in the Hawaiian hotspot to allow magma to flow out, like we had in 2018. We had a massive magma discharge out in the Hawaiian Islands. And that was when all the planets were in alignment on one side of the sun. And here's the little moon just bopping in between these giant planets in the outer solar system. And what it is you're acting like a slingshot off the gravitational fields of like Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. I mean, these big monsters, and you're getting in between the pull between the sun and these planets. Remember, the sun drives all the planets. The sun's gravitational hold holds all the planets in the solar system. So when the moon and the Earth starts cutting in between these monsters, you have a huge gravitational increase in energy that affects the core of the planet, and that's why you have it's actually a 3,500% increase in volcanic seismic activity on the planet in 2018. Like every time that happened. Now that happened five times in the last 125 years, that all the planets were on one side of the sun, and then you have a 3,500% increase in volcanic activity. So it does say, but you can look at it as like it's if you didn't have these pyramids keeping the Hawaiian hotspot open, it'd be horrible down here. It'd be absolutely horrendous. Like if that volcano was ever allowed to seal up and build up and just become a massive plug, and then you walk into that alignment, it would be, I mean, you'd be in New York and Boston, you'd be getting lava stones falling on your head from Hawaii.
It would make Krakatoa look mild, is what you're
yeah,
saying?
Right. Well, yeah, it'll put you right into an ice age, So it's like back into the Stone Age again. So there's multiple purposes on these pyramids besides going there. Is that? Oh, somebody's got something to say behind you. Is that your bird?
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah,
birds always got something to say, John.
Yeah. Give him the microphone.
Of Omaha at my house. Like I have to remember to mute myself.
All right,
John, I really, first of all, like one question I have, which will lead you to a shameless plug. When's your next book coming out, or are you still working this one?
I'm still working this one. I'm still like in a process of, I got to do a little bit more editing because a few things are not actually correct. And, but it's like with any great writer. I'm not one, but well, you get the inspired, you know what I mean? It just comes up on you. I got to type, so it just comes to you. So I don't really. I wish I was more mechanized and just say, okay, I got to hit the keyboard and start doing it. But it's more
no, we like you better this way.
Yeah, it's more. You got to have the drive. You got to have that insight. It all depends on which demon's in your head. You know what I mean? That's how I kind of locate it to. It's like, all right, who's running me today? You know what I mean? I got a committee like everybody else, and every once in a while the writer gets in charge, and we got to do a book. Otherwise, he has a temper tantrum.
Yeah, we can't have that. Can't have that. Well, John, thank you so much for sharing all of that information. And I love hanging out with you. I think there's a bagel in both of our futures, maybe in 2029 sometime if we ever.
Yeah, right. Got to do a bagel down here in New York.
That's right. New York Brooklyn bagels.
We're not going to park the car. We're going to park the car,
That's only when you come down here. When we go to your house, we pack the car.
That's right. We're walking the dog and parking the car in Harvard Yard,
And then we can talk.
Yeah, we can talk.
Over some coffee. All right, that's it.
There you go. Yeah.
Right on, John. Thank you very much, brother. And guys, visit pyramidgravityforce.com to understand how gravity works with pyramids by our brother John Shaughnessy. Wonderful book. If you guys want to check out the talks that I've done with John, they are in the archives of Waters Talk. Oh, look at that beauty.
Hey, sweetie. Hey, buddy.
And then John's also got this book here. There's something about the moon, which he co-authored with Wendy H. Salter. And again, another wonderful, wonderful book. And this is John's newest book, Pyramids and the Great Floods. And again, another excellent book and thought-provoking. And stays on theme with the pyramids and gravity, and just a very enjoyable read. So you guys go on to Amazon and grab that book. And while you're at Amazon, just a strange visitor at Amazon, our buddy Paul Anthony Wallace, his newest book is out, The Eden Conspiracy. It got rolled out yesterday. Available on paperback and as well as on Kindle. I've put my order in, so I'm looking forward to getting my hard copy in my hand. So order both those books while you are over at Amazon.com or Chapters or Goodreads or wherever you may be. Help support an author, help support the research so that we can continue to raise our awareness and lift our ignorance in the things that matter. So thank you very much, John, my brother. Thank you. I so appreciate you. And, this, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas looks great on you, buddy.
Yeah, it is. Biden chased me around a hypodermic needle.
Love you, brother, and thank you. And guys, head on over to John Shaughnessy's YouTube channel as well. Give it a subscribe. Hit that notification bell. John's got a lot of great videos on there. I mean, like a lot. Talking about Göbekli Tepe, talking about Uranus, talking about pole shift. There's all kinds of stuff on there. So that'll keep you entertained.
It's been shadow banned. It's been shadow banned. That's how good it is.
Yeah, that's right. It's good when you get shadow banned. Hence, Watchers Talk. We've been battling this battle for 9 years now, and we just keep the good fight going. All right, my man. Thank you very much, and I will shoot you a message, and let's get together and have another one-on-one talk. And until next time, be well, be happy, be in love, and take care of yourself.
All right, bro. All right. We'll see you
later.
Thank
you, my brother. Thank you. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. Have a good day.